I think that it was in that moment that I knew that I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to put bad guys away. I was going to be a district attorney, and I worked in the DA's office in law school, but they weren't hiring DAs, so I was gonna have to be a law clerk for a period of time after, and I was already working for a plaintiff's firm, a personal injury firm, well-established, Rose Klein Marius, big firm. We were holding really terrible people accountable for the crap they did. And some of it was criminal.
Welcome to this episode of Bourbon and Proof, where we interview those who have been successful at law and life, and we do it over a series of a lot of alcohol, a lot of high proof too. We have a very good surprise for our guests. And of course, I'm joined by my co-host and one of my best friends in life, my bonded brother, my brother in bond, Mara Fiore.
Hello, hello.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Christa.
Nice to see you.
And you guys have known each other for a long time, so this is going to be a very good episode.
Long time.
And of course, thank you to Charles Liu and Tom Hardy letting us hijack their bar. We're here at Bike Shed in downtown Los Angeles, and we're going to get this started off very nice, Christa. So, first one I selected for you, we're going to go straight into the booze. This is Heaven's Door, which is a straight rye whiskey finished in Boggs bottles. I don't know, but these are in wine bottles in like France, but you like wine, so it's fine.
I do.
But I like this because it's a straight rye, and you know, let me pour this for you first, and I'll tell you why.
Heaven's Door is in Louisville, right? We visited Heaven's Door.
They have one in Louisville, but it's actually from, I think, Indiana.
We went to Angel's Envy when we were in the similar bottle.
Similar bottle. Angel's Envy rye is one of the best ones. So you're gonna remember these notes because this is a straight rye whiskey, and this is 46% alcohol. Oh, that table. So cheers. We'll try the first one. Straight rye. So, Chris, a lot of people know you as a leader in the industry.
Very nice.
I know, very nice. Leader in the industry and help a lot of people out, with consumer advocacy. But a lot of people don't know how you got started and why you became a lawyer. So we're going to start out. I just want to go right to that. So I chose Heaven's Door to talk about your aunt, who is in heaven right now, and about what happened to her and how it inspired to you. And I don't know if Mara knows the story, but I want to talk about it.
I've heard various versions.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of us have origin stories about why we become lawyers. At least some of the better lawyers do. Some are like, I couldn't get into med school, so I'm gonna go to law school, But when I was 16 years old, I found out some devastating news when I came home from school one day that my aunt was murdered. She was shot in her home by someone she let into her house at 5 a.m. and she was executed. She was shot through the screen door and then a bullet to the back of the head. And there's no easy way to tell that story, and I kind of tell it fast because sometimes it's better just to pull the Band-Aid off. But I remember going through that experience and all of the emotions that come with it. Her murder has never been solved. And it was in that period of time when I knew that I thought the death penalty was wrong because I wanted to kill the person that did this to my aunt. Wow. And to have those kinds of feelings of rage and anger in you is not acceptable. And I drew on my faith. I'm Greek Orthodox. I drew on my family, and we have, just been waiting for justice for her.
How many years?
It's been almost 40, 37 years.
And where was this? In what city?
So she was in San Diego. She moved out to California from Michigan when she was in her early 20s. She's a former beauty queen, Miss Grand Rapids. We lived in Texas, and she was an entrepreneur. She was a strong woman, community leader, a seroptimist, mentored other women entrepreneurs. And they think that it was a love triangle. My family knows who did it. We are certain we know who did it. But there was no DNA. The shell casings were taken. Nothing left behind. And I think that it was in that moment that I knew that I wanted to be an attorney. I wanted to put bad guys away. And I was going to be a district attorney.
Which you did.
And I worked in the DA's office in law school, but they weren't hiring DAs, so I was gonna have to be a law clerk for a period of time after. And I was already working for a plaintiff's firm, a personal injury firm, a well-established, Rose Klein Marius, big firm. And we were holding really terrible people accountable for the crap they did. And some of it was criminal.
Do you feel like, a lot of the attributes you said about your aunt, mentoring a lot of folks, an entrepreneur, sounds a lot like you, Christa?
I would like to think that if she was here and I moved out here and went on this path that I've gone on, that we would have seen each other a lot, that we would have been thick as thieves. She was special to me, and even though she died so many years ago, I was young. I remember her vividly. I remember her smile. I remember her smell. I remember how she would lean into conversations. She was someone that you would really just connect with when you were talking with her. A gift that not very many people have, that ability to make those kinds of connections. She would have been a good lawyer.
Yeah. And this was San Diego many years ago.
Yep.
And we've seen a lot in the news, Mara. I don't know if you're following, but it's a cold case that people are opening back up. But at least it's getting publicity. I think it's got to be due to you because you've been out in the media a lot. I see you on Court TV and these other things.
It was random. We got contacted, my daughter got contacted by a girl that went to school at University of South Carolina where my daughter went, looking for some, she's like, makes the connection, like, hey, we have a lot of mutual friends. By the way, I'm a reporter in San Diego, and I noticed that you're one of only 3 friends of a man on Facebook that I'm looking for. His name's Mike Haggai. It's my dad. She goes, I think you might be his step-granddaughter.
Wow.
And I was like, don't send the reporter to my dad. Don't, because he will not pick up the phone. And I immediately knew, reporter from San Diego, that's about my aunt. And they're doing these stories after 2020 on Friday nights where they're, talking about these old cases. And a lot of them are getting solved because they need to be talked about. And when they're pushed out there and talked about, that's how crimes get solved on these cold cases, is because, the person that did this, she's not the only person that knows. She had to have told someone, or she hired it done. And that's a lot to live with. I can't imagine living with something like that. So, we're hoping that they'll, feel the weight of whatever guilt or conscience that they might have left and call in a tip.
Well, this one's an
Georgia
unsolved
Jack.
murder and to justice, right?
To justice.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, so this one was actually sourced by a fellow Greek. This is Nico, one of our good friends from Booze Outlet. So we source a lot of our alcohol from here. He sources very hard to find bottles. So we sent him on a mission to find ones that tell a story for our guests. And this one was special from Nico. So
I love it.
yeah, so thank you to Booze Outlet for that one.
Thanks, Nico.
Very tasty.
It is. I like it.
So
I like a good rye.
Me too. But I think it's the only rye that we have here. But we'll get into that. Mara, how long have you known Christa?
Over 20 years for sure.
Yeah.
Long time, because I've been bouncing around the town a little while. Bouncing around LA as a lawyer for 26 years now. I've been a lawyer. So I've known Christa a long time. She, when I first met her, I know you worked for Rose Klein, and then you worked at Alder's office, and in between you were at some other places. So she's worked for a lot of friends of mine over the years, and then she had her own office for a long time. So yeah, I've ran across Christa so many times, and then we're both very active in CALA. She's going to be CALA president here
CALA
soon.
president.
And so I've been on committees with her and so many things over the years. So we're old friends.
And for those of you who are watching or listening, so CALA is our consumer bar. It's our trial bar in Los Angeles, which I believe is the biggest membership bar for trial for the
In the
I think
country.
we have about 3,500 members.
Yeah. And Mara and I are on the board.
Christa's on the
Christa's
board.
now on the e-board. She's going to be president.
3 years.
So Christa was actually the first person I met in CALA. She had a new lawyers thing in 11755 Wilshire Boulevard, Suite 1120, Michael's office. You came to Phil Michael's office and held a new lawyers thing, and I was a first-year lawyer, and I came.
You worked
I
for Phil
love
Michaels
that.
too?
No, I was up. I was working in that building as a young lawyer, and I was interested to hear more from stuff. And you were the first person I met.
I remember meeting you when you were a baby lawyer, doing my mock trial that I used to do in the Santa Monica courthouse.
Yes, that's right.
I'm like, this kid's got talent.
You know, so this is God. You just dovetailed right into my next selection for you. Okay.
Oh God. Okay.
So, when I came to do that, you invited me to come judge mock trial, in Santa Monica. I was actually trying a case in Van Nuys at the time, and it was a sex abuse case. And it was a case for a young girl who was 15 that was being essentially trafficked through a series of companies where there were night janitors and they would take her around. And I was trying the case with Aviary Sec up in Van Nuys. And I came down on a Thursday night to judge that because we were dark on Friday, came down to judge that competition for you.
Didn't y'all win
You won.
Street Fighter for that, right?
We won Street for the Year for that for
I remember that
California.
case.
Very sad, but that girl, I mean, it's the most positive like story you ever, I mean, and this is where like I selected this for you because this, it's funny you mentioned that. This wasn't even scripted, but this one is an Orphan barrel. So this one, every year they do something different, and this is Forager's Keep. So they do these intricate, it's like artwork. An Orphan barrel every year takes 1 or 2 barrels, and they select what's called an Orphan barrel, ones that other people gave up on. They nurture them, they care for them, they advocate for them, they turn into art. And every year it's something different.
I love that.
And this was, I think, 2006 is when they did this one. Yeah, this is it's bottled 2006, but this was a couple of years ago. But it's different from another thing we're having right here because this one is actually, they ship this one out to Scotland. So this is done in Edinburgh
Oh,
for
wow.
this one. But they do a bourbon and they do a scotch, but this is the different flavor for this. But now, Christa, since I've done that case, you have always been a champion for those folks that never had a voice. Your aunt on, but for sex abuse cases and the sex trafficking, what you're doing, which we're going to talk about now, but to Christa.
Cheers.
Totally different taste.
I like that one.
Yeah, different taste for
It
everything.
feels a little bit like a scotch.
It does. It's like
It
a
has
scotch.
a little bit of that Islay kind of peaty flavor.
Yeah.
It does. That's what I'm tasting.
Yeah, it's got the Islay,
I
which
wonder
is
if
good.
it can't help themselves in Scotland to do that.
Is
I
it
like
Islay? Is that how you pronounce it? I've always
I don't
wondered.
know how to pronounce
I
it.
think it is Islay or Highlands is the ones that have the peat, kind of the campfire flavor.
Okay, I'll take your
This
word
has
for
got
it.
a little bit of the campfire in it.
It does.
So, Chris, you've known for getting big school bullying cases, sex abuse cases. So, it kind of walk us through where your passion is now and the kind of cases that you're litigating and trying.
Yeah, I think that we've all known like people that have been hurt or who have suffered at the hands of another, whether it's a fight or a bully or abused, whether it's physically or sexually. And there's some things that have happened in my past and into people that I love, and then just experiences with my own children and what they endured, and not even to the extent of anything like the clients that I represent. But I remember back in like 2013, some laws were changing that Governor Brown signed into law to amend the education code to add cyberbullying to.
Wow, this was 2013?
Not till 2013, cyberbullying was added as something that schools had to look out for, realizing that plays a role on how kids enjoy their right to get an education and to enjoy their school campuses.
But it sounds so strange that 2013, it sounds like it wasn't too long ago, though it was in
10
the
years.
world of technology.
Yeah.
But California seems to be at the forefront of developing and having, because a lot of states still don't have these laws for cyberbullying.
No, and a lot of them are tricky. There's laws that protect media companies. Everyone hears about Section 230.
So tell us Section 230. That's
Well,
the tech bro.
Well, if anyone that listens to President Trump talk,
right-wing media knows what that is. Yeah.
because there's immunities that are given to Facebook and Instagram, and there's been carve-outs recently for specific types of cases where you can go after. Human sex trafficking is one of those areas where there's been a carve-out, and particularly for childhood, like sex abuse and whatnot. But there's other areas that's not, and the bullying online can be so prolific. It can cause such lasting damage on a child. You look at suicide rates and how they jumped after in the late 2000s and into the teens. I mean, suicide rates with teens and teens cutting themselves and doing feeling just ashamed about who they are and their bodies and their images. And there's a lot more work that needs to be done. I like that we're doing these carve-outs to get out of the immunity area. I don't think that no one should ever get immunity. You do something wrong, you should be held accountable.
And that's where, and Christy, you do a lot of work to actually lobby and create new law for victims, survivors. And it just shows the dedication for how, like, we have a very strong presence in California to dictate these things. Other states don't really have those things.
Yeah.
And to actually have a cyberbullying law, to have carve-outs for, even arbitration and things. You're at those tables.
I enjoy being at those tables too. Last year we had a little bit of a defeat in one of the areas that I was working on, which was hazing. But we're going back at it again this year. And I like that I'm being called upon to do it. It's kind of nice to go to testify in Sacramento and explain to the legislators why we do need to sue people from time to time. When you think about it, we would not have seatbelts in our cars if it wasn't for people like us.
I know.
Hazing meaning like if someone wants to join a fraternity or something like that. Yeah, it's all. I'm older. I remember what we used to do just in high school, like in the locker room.
I'm sure.
Oh
I tell my wife. I tell my wife the stuff we would do to like the freshman football players in my high school, and she says you should be in prison. But it was okay. I don't know if it was okay. But no one gave a shit.
But here's
kids aren't dying.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Kids weren't
No one
dying
gave
from
a
being
shit
hazed.
in the 80s.
Well,
But you didn't have
different.
Boys will be boys.
But you didn't have the internet there. Imagine having a video be posted of all the stuff that was going on and the humiliation. But I think about it, like my dad was a football player, he played at Pitt and stuff, and he always told me, like, stick up for these other kids. And when I was playing football, like, you would see the hazing stuff. And I'd be like, guys, come on, like, why would you do that to somebody? But I still remember as a young kid, like, when I'd be getting bullied, and usually my dad would just go kick their dad's ass. That was his remedy. But that's a core memory for you. Like, that's something you remember.
Yeah. It is. It is a core memory. And I remember, like a whole cheer incident happening with my daughter. And it, in the bigger picture, it was not that bad. But at that time, it was just everything to her. And I remember going to this meeting with all the parents and the principal, and Kathleen raises her hand. She's like, call my stepmom. She's a lawyer. And I'm like, oh my God, I better say something really good right now. But, we were trying to protect these kids because they were getting bullied by some of the other girls on the team, and it could get out of control. And you post that online, that lives with a kid for a long time. So, all kidding aside, I know that there is a lot of that mentality still, though, about boys will be boys, and, but.
Yeah, I say that at my house, and my wife just wants to punch me in the face.
No,
She does.
I like your wife, by the way.
Boys will be boys.
Smart woman.
She's not interested. I say, boys will. She says,
No.
What are you talking about? But she's a lot younger than me, and she's from, she has a different view of it than my old, I'm a kid of the 70s, and 80s, and we, it was a different world.
I don't think we're that far off in age.
No, we're similar age.
This is the young one here.
Yes.
The boy genius.
Yes.
Just a wee baby.
But yeah,
Oh,
boys
not a baby.
will be boys doesn't
Get a lot of gray. No, but I think Christa and I have been collaborating a lot and talking for the new things about being able to hold who we call the people that set the stage for these actors, these bad actors, right? We have big tech who, we see a lot of people preying on young women on Facebook.
Yeah.
This is how they groom people. And then we see hotels and motels setting the same stage for these predators through sex trafficking and things.
Yeah.
I know you're passionate about this, so I just wanted you to, with our listeners and viewers, kind of take the stage a little bit for you yourself and educate how things that are going on, how we can help prevent it.
Well, a lot of it, the hotels you mentioned, and some of these hotels are chains that we would stay in, Marriott's, Hilton's. Some of them are Motel 6s. And during the pandemic, it was really bad because no one was really watching. These hotels were empty. And this is something that we got involved with Rotary International, where I do a lot of volunteer work, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, with the human trafficking, and just bringing about awareness to it. But I think that, people look at sex workers and they think that this was some kind of choice that they made. This is not, we need to stop saying that they're consenting to this. They are not consenting to this. They have been trafficked. They have literally been trafficked. They have been taken and they have been forced into basically what is human slavery. And we have to figure out ways to stop the practices, and the way to do it is to put people like Motel 6 that are helping them out of business. And that is how you get real, true systemic change, is when you go after the actors that are enabling. Putting one pimp out of business isn't going to do anybody any good. You have to go after the money that is being made, and that is being made by big-time corporations in our country, and including media companies.
Medias, banks, hotels. I mean, we're hearing a lot of stories.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reading in the Daily Journal about all the guys from all these porn sites that were advertising on Craigslist for girls to do modeling, and then they come and they drug them and film movies and put them online, and some of the girls are underage. I mean, it's been crazy.
And that's what
it's just it's a crazy business.
And that's what, like, the eye-opening thing. That's why I picked Orphan's Barrel, is because a lot of people, women that are trafficked, are usually orphans, foster kids, people that don't have a support system around them. That's why I think it's such. If anybody's watching or listening, like, if you just help foster kids or help kids that are orphans and give them a support group or have somebody to call or talk to, they prey on kids that don't have that system, right? Or people.
When foster kids turn 18, we dump them.
I know. Literally a trash bag, go get your
Literally.
stuff.
And if they're still in high school, it doesn't matter. The system, you turned 18 in November of your senior year in high school, you're done. We will no longer provide this foster home for you. You're on your own. Good luck.
So if they turn 18 in like October, November, their senior year, they're homeless the rest of the high school year.
There
That's
needs to be
crazy.
some sort of effort to. I remember one of our friends, Jim DeSimone, had an organization that he did volunteer work for many years ago, and it was about the foster system, where it was post foster care, and where you put these children, into where you get them into, a group home, or, help them. The government needs to help take care of these kids. They have been, their parents are either in prison or dead, or drug addicts or something terrible.
60% of people trafficked or were in foster care. 80% of people in prison touched foster care.
Yep.
And 70%, so 7 out of 10 women that aged out of foster care at 18 get pregnant by the time they're 21.
So if we
and guess what happens?
Yeah.
Right back in the system.
If we actually cared about children really, as someone who advocates for them regularly, we would care for them not just before they're born, but all the way through until they're an adult. So, that is societal change that you need to make happen. And how do you do that? That's, through what we were talking about a little bit ago with, through the legislature, through elected officials, through making sure that we're supporting people that are running for office that actually care.
And that's where lobbying, like, there's some stuff in California, they're helping pay for college for foster kids, right? These are things where and people talk about, like, oh my God, you burn so much cash, you give so much back. Like, you can actually do a lot of good and change society for the better if you put it in the right place.
Yeah. Yeah.
And these are things that you've been able to help create.
I think that I'm making steps to help. I don't know that I'm that great. I want to make steps to help. I want to continue to help, and I will do everything I can. I mean, that's why I think I've niched my law practice into where it is, where it's just about, kids and adult survivors. So I'm just talking about, bullying, abuse, sexual assault, trafficking.
And that's like, I had a conversation with Brett Schreiber, a good friend of mine. He had he put it so succinctly. He's like, all of us, we made a lot of money being car crash lawyers and injured labor lawyers. He's like, but now if you reach a certain point, you're focused on legacy.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to actually change the world? Yeah. And what you're doing now can change the world.
And that brings me back to my aunt.
Yep.
Because I've got to think about, like, the footprint we're leaving, and why did I go to law school? I went to law school to put bad guys away. So if I can put a bad guy out of business,
that's right.
I'll take that, right?
So we're gonna
Drink to that.
We're gonna drink to that. We're gonna close.
I talked to Brett Schreiber the other day.
Oh, he's
a good guy.
Smartest guy.
I called him up and he said, "Hey, what's up, Mara? I'm so busy right now, but I'll answer for you because you're Mara." Thank God, I have that. So in some circles, people will answer for me.
I think I take your
I was
calls.
like, Brett, I had a question about something going on, and he's like, I'm studying for the Hawaii bar exam. Yeah. I said, you're studying for the Hawaii bar exam? I said, man, my brain doesn't work like that anymore. Are you sure you got you know what you're doing? He's like, yeah, man, I want to do these Hawaii fire cases. I want to help these people. And Brett, he doesn't. It's not because he's over there because he needs the money or anything.
He doesn't need the money.
It's because he's there because he wants to help people.
But he's a perfect example of people that are in our circle that want to change the world.
Yeah.
He's talked to me about.
Yeah, no, he's there to help people.
They opened an office in Mississippi
for civil rights cases.
For civil rights cases,
Yeah.
to change the election. He thinks they can change Mississippi for the better and help people. Like that's the type of people that you need to be around.
I think I can change my home state, Texas, maybe a little bit. Switch it
Well,
around.
we're gonna transition to another state
Oh,
which
Texas.
has been changed. No, we're not getting back to your roots.
Oh, no?
We're going to the dogs.
Go
We're going
Dogs.
straight to Georgia because Christa
Georgia.
Ramey is a very big Georgia Bulldog fan, and we're going to hear the story and why. And this is 120 plus proof. We're going to end this with straight
Holy
fire.
guacamole.
This is fire, 120 proof.
We've had a lot more on the show.
This will
Mara.
light
We've
your
had
tongue on fire.
the highest we ever had was 134 proof.
I remember that one.
Butter my butt and call me a biscuit.
I'm gonna be. Speaking of Atlanta, I'm gonna be in Atlanta for a week here coming up. I'm going to the Masters.
Wait, we're supposed to go. We're doing the Bourbon Proof tour in Atlanta. When are you going to the Masters?
I'm going with Rob May.
Oh my God, this guy.
April
I need-
17, 18, 19. I'm going to the Masters with Rob and Garrett.
I am so
With the big
freaking
tuna.
jealous of this.
With the big tuna. So we're going to the Masters and we're going to rage in Buckhead and
Eat your pimento cheese sandwich and
then-
drink.
Oh, I love pimento
and then I
cheese.
guess we're gonna take a private jet and fly to Augusta on Sunday morning to see this Augusta, the finals of the Masters. Good stuff.
My husband has walked the course. He hasn't
Really?
played the course. A friend of
we're-
his from undergrad, one of his fraternity brothers, Teak from University of Georgia.
Because I think Augusta's far from Atlanta.
This smells good, guys.
We're
Oh, I
flying
can't
over
wait.
So, okay, so I'm going to
Tell
set
me
the
the story.
stage here. So this came from one of a former guest on the show, Ali Salimi sent this to me from Atlanta.
I remember Al.
Ali's awesome. He looks like my Persian twin. If you ever saw him, he does.
Yeah.
So this is from the Old Fourth Distillery, which is a single barrel, handcrafted bourbon. Again, this is now
Cask strength too, which means
Oh.
that they don't dilute it or anything. Just however comes out of the barrel is how they
So
bottle
this
it.
is like about 120 proof. We round up a little bit, but this
Sweet
is
baby
this is a
Jesus.
store pick. Which if anybody's watching, if you want to look, they have a little sticker on the back that looks like this. People do a store pick, put a little sticker on things. It means that place hand selected that barrel. It's one barrel that they had. I always take a store pick of anything. If you see it, it's amazing. It means somebody actually knows what they're doing, tasted it, liked it. This is Cask Strength, and again, different. We're going around the country here and around the world with Scotland, but this
I
is going
didn't
to be
know that
completely
they
different.
distilled bourbon in Georgia.
I did not know this either, so I'm excited.
I think they have
Go
distilleries
Dogs.
everywhere now.
Go Dogs.
For 120 proof, it's pretty smooth.
It's smooth.
I was
for
going
that
to say the
side.
same thing. And
Very
this is the
smooth.
first time I've ever drank any brown liquor without ice.
And I'm usually icing everything.
Except for scotch. Scotch you don't drink with
I
ice.
like to drink it neat.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's how I hydrate. That's how you stay hydrated. Put ice in it.
You have to get your water.
Yeah, you have to get your water consumption. They say 8 glasses of water a day, or 4 round ice cubes in your whiskey.
The sphere ice cubes.
Yeah,
Okay, I can
that's
deal
it.
with that.
That's what my grandpap told me.
Oh,
Sounds like something Randy told you.
Randy might have. I might have got the memories confused.
Oh my God.
Randy is Bob's drunk friend, by the way.
He's an expert
I
witness.
don't know.
He's the
who?
best.
I don't know that I know this
Oh,
person.
Randy's one of my best friends. He's a Texan. He's out of Beaumont, Texas. He lives down the street from me, and he's a whiskey connoisseur. And he's 6'5", 6'6", you think?
You have a lot of Texan connections, and I
guy.
think
A
that it's
lot.
weird,
Big
by
guy.
the way,
Oh, I
because
love Texas.
so I'm from Dallas, and you're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my dad told me never to trust anyone from Pittsburgh
We-
or anyone that loves the Steelers.
And we told the same for people for the Cowboys because it was always Tony Dorsett coming up playing.
I just talked back to Dorsett.
Yep, that's what it was.
Best running back ever.
So my dad in college, because Tony Dorsett played at Pitt. So my dad,
That's
when he was
right,
playing
he
for
did.
Pitt, Tony Dorsett was on that team. My dad was defensive end, and they were not allowed to touch Tony Dorsett.
Steelers have had some damn good dogs that have come there.
Very good dogs.
They,
Heinz Ward, one of my favorite
I was
players
just
of
going
all
to say
time.
that. Heinz Ward, damn good dog.
Damn good dog. We had a
He had
lot.
a short career, Heinz Ward.
No, he had a
But
long
he was
career.
good.
Really?
You don't remember because he blocked a lot at the end of his career and he coached the wide receivers, but he was awesome. He threw a
And
when
then he was
caught
on
a
So You Think You Can
touchdown.
Dance or something. No.
So okay,
To
trivia.
himself.
No.
To himself.
He caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl against was it the Seahawks? It might have against you guys. No, Seahawks. Who threw the pass?
Wait. Oh, God. I wasn't paying close enough attention to the question.
So who
Not Roethlisberger.
but Roethlisberger was the quarterback. Who threw the touchdown to Heinz Ward in the Super Bowl?
So it was an interception.
The bus.
I don't know.
Okay, oh God, this
My husband would know
clue.
the answer to this.
This person played quarterback at Indiana University.
Indiana.
and he was our wide receiver punt returner, and he threw a touchdown to Heinz Ward.
I don't know enough about picks.
Anton Randall L. Do you remember that
remember
guy?
I do remember him.
He threw a
I don't
perfect
know.
spiral.
As Bob has
I could go into Cowboy history, I could go into Georgia Bulldog history, but I can't go into Pittsburgh history like that.
Well, it's all interconnected because they are the greatest team of all time. So anyway,
They have,
And
the,
I-
same,
digress.
they have the same number
Bob,
of rings
you
as
know,
the Cowboys.
I
No,
always
they don't.
say-
Steelers
Bob-
have more. Steelers have
Bob,
6.
you know how I
You
always
guys
say
5.
my Dallas
Right.
connection is always that I am friends with Rhett Miller, the lead singer of the old 97s, the greatest rock and roll band ever out of Dallas, Texas. And some people, I tell them, hey, I know Rhett Miller. They're like, oh, I love the old 97s. And some people, I've never heard of him.
You know so
It's
much about
weird.
music.
Morrow
randomly
knows
rented-
most shit about Hollywood and music anybody ever met in your
I
life.
randomly run into Morrow at concerts regularly.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I saw you guys
It
sent
was
me a
funny.
picture one
Jason
time
Isbell,
together.
right
It's
before
funny
y'all went
because
to Spain the next
I
day
went,
or something.
I went to see
Yeah.
Jason Isbell last year at the Greek Theater, and I told my
This is-
wife.
this is connected
I
to
said-
Georgia, by the way,
And I told my wife,
Isbell.
I said, I don't give a fuck how much it costs. I'm gonna sit in the fucking front row.
I said the
in
second
center."
row. Morrow was
I
in
was
front-
sitting in the front row center right next to the guy's microphone stand because Jason Isbell to me is a god, and whoever doesn't like Jason Isbell can get lost.
His music is so amazing.
And you know who was sitting right behind me? Her and
Christa.
her
Wait,
husband.
We're boarding like an international flight the next day, and he sends me this picture. I was like, "Why the fuck are you out, dude?" Like, my wife's doing her skincare ritual. Like, I'm like
I was
preparing
in
my
the
liver
Greek
for this
Theater,
trip,
in
and
the
he's
front row center at the Greek.
I'm the row
Jason
behind him,
Isbell.
though. I'm not in the front row. I'm in the second row.
How did this come to be?
So good. So
But we
good.
ran each other at music
Isabel's so good.
festivals. Like
Yeah, I've seen you at the
Beach
Beach
Life.
Life Festival in
Yeah.
Redondo.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm sure I'll run into
I went
more.
to I went to go see for that one specifically. I went to see I think it was
Boney Maroney.
no
Oh,
Wilco.
Yes,
Oh,
that's who we
wow.
went to
Wilco
see.
was
Is
good.
Wilco, and
Wilco.
and you know who else was there was bringing it back to Texas was oh God, Willie Nelson's son. What's his first
Oh.
name?
Willie Nelson's
Very
son.
handsome.
Yeah, it's the Promise of the Real is his name.
Right? Yeah.
The case.
See, he
The
knows
name of
all
his
this
band
stupid stuff.
is called The Promise of the Real.
And he's a great. I mean, he, like
Yeah.
definitely inherited the talent from his father. But the best guitar player to me, known to man, that ever lived is from Dallas, and that's Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
And my husband, when we were kids, I was too young because I couldn't get into bars then. But when he was playing bars on Greenville Avenue,
You couldn't get into a bar in Texas. Come on.
Well, this is the early
Not
'80s. I was
legally.
like 10.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've
But
been
he
to
was-
I've been to the what's it the Majestic Theater on Greenville Avenue.
Nice.
Why does he like this? Is stupid.
You know, so
By the way, this liquor that makes my tongue numb. You guys feeling that yet?
oh my God.
He just chugged it.
The Grand Theater
He's
on
chugged
Greenville.
every
The
glass.
Grand Theater on Greenville.
I've never
But the
been there.
best is Deep Ellum.
Deep
You
Ellum
get-
is
you
the
gotta
best.
go to you gotta go to the Gypsy Tea Room, Deep Ellum.
There was
and see
bars
some
there
fucking
that
rock and roll.
there's bars there that no longer exist that I went to in the '80s. The Stark Room being one of them, which Stevie Nicks was the part owner of. That place was cool. You felt like she owned it. It was like there was women dancing in cages. Everything was like these long, beautiful lace curtains hanging down. The dance floor was
And
like
the other thing about
amazing.
Dallas is they have the world's greatest record store in Dallas called Good Records.
Yes.
In Dallas, the world's greatest record store.
Yes.
This guy didn't even look at show notes, by the way.
The world's greatest record store.
He's riffing off.
Good
We,
records.
we need to go. We need to get you and my husband into doing a trivia night where the music is the
Oh God.
Yeah.
or baseball. Baseball. My husband.
I'll
knows
do the
baseball
college
well.
football section of
Okay.
that.
I
God.
can help with football. Growing up from Texas, football I know.
But
But
this
not
is why
music like
this is
this.
why I chose this one for you. This is in Atlanta, very hot, high proof. And I love
When
this.
I was a kid, I just remember Herschel Walker played for the Bulldogs, and he was. the
Well,
best.
let's not talk about Herschel Walker.
Where did
badass.
Herschel Walker? Where did he go play out of college?
He played for the Cowboys.
He did play for the
No,
Cowboys.
he did not. Where did he go out of college?
No, college. He went to like the.
Oh, he played in the USFL.
He
Yes,
did.
For the Washington Generals.
There's
And,
another.
and who was part of the USFL at the time?
Donald Trump.
That's right.
He
Why do you
owned-
think? Why do you think they were attached
That's
to
how they
him?
know each other.
Donald Trump owned the New Jersey. I can't remember the name of the team.
Which went BK.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
But you know, still to this day, Steve Young collects $1 million
Yes, he
a
does.
year.
Oh, you know the
Because
story.
Donald Trump signed Steve Young out of college for $100 million in order to show
Yes.
what a big deal the USFL was. Signed Steve Young to a $100 million
What a
contract.
bad businessman. How
And
did you elect him as president?
But it was $1 million a year. Every January 1st, Steve Young got $1 million for 100 years.
But
So to this day, Steve Young's still collecting $100 million
And
a year. And he got an annuity.
What they did, yeah, the annuity is they thought if they put the money aside, they'd collect the interest to pay it off in perpetuity. And so they outlawed. So in Major League Baseball, which has a monopoly, essentially, but they have an antitrust rule. They got rid of the Bobby Bonilla rule, which he did that in Major League Baseball.
Bobby Bo to this day still gets paid millions of dollars.
$1 million a year. He signed a contract with the Mets in like 1991.
And he's still getting paid.
Yep, because they did this annuity deal. They're like, dude, you can't do this anymore.
Thank God, but I think that
I think we're getting baseball, by the way.
Baseball? I don't know. We went from football to baseball. It's a natural progression. I'm a girl from Texas, so I like
I'm the
sports.
sponsor.
So I'm good.
You know that Fiore Legal is the official sponsor of the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes, the Dodgers single A team.
Oh, that's right. He does a lot of cool giveaways. Like
And
they
every
light
year
records on fire.
Every year I throw out the first pitch, and it's usually pretty bad.
I'm going to the first gate, opening day.
We should do an opening day
to
there.
party there.
So,
the Quakes, Rancho Cucamonga.
if anybody wants to look up Mauro Fiore's stats in fast pitch baseball, we played on a team together. If you go to LABL,
Do you do this with
Where-
Joe
where-
Barrett and
Joe Barrett's in that league. He's in one of the other
And,
teams.
We were in a league
Is
where they
Min
threw
in that
gas.
league too?
Where they
Min
threw
wins?
gas.
Min's in that
They
league.
threw like 80 miles an hour. Bob, tell him.
This is true. So if you go to
throw it 80 mile an
LABL,
hour?
no, other people did. Mauro
Other
was
people.
throwing 40-mile-per-hour curveballs.
I was a junk pitcher.
oh, those are hard to hit.
So
But tell him about my stats.
LABL.org. If you go there, you can look up lifetime stats. And I looked up these were over 10 years. I still
thought
bat
that
with a
cool.
wood
You're
bat.
cool.
Wood bat.
Wood bats.
I was still batting 300, but my stolen bases would go from like 20 a year to like 5 to 0. But at the end of my career, I was having pinch runners that were stealing the bases for me. But
Is that a thing? I
you
never
can't.
heard
So
it.
in this league, you get there's like a
'Cause
couple
you're
rules.
older.
Yeah, there's a couple rules. We have a 25 and up rule.
Your knees are not as good as they
We were
used
in
to
the,
be.
and I was catching. So we were the 25 and up rule, and the rule was you have to be removed from pros 3 years.
Okay.
One rule. 2 years you get. or
It's like
the other-
people would bring like Jose Canseco. And
Yes.
shit
I
was
and
gonna say,
put him
is there
on-
pros
put him
actually
on-
in
Yeah,
the
Jose
league?
Canseco
both
was on the
Cansecos
team.
played in the league, but Ozzy, his other twin, beat up the umpire and then went after his girlfriend. He got thrown out of the league. It was a whole thing.
Well, baseball players don't have a good
But back to my
reputation for sexual
stats.
assault.
No, they
Back
don't.
to
No,
the
he's-
most important part, to my stats.
So
So
there's
Mauro's
a
stats.
situation there too.
Mauro will bat the weirdest 300 average you'll ever see in your life, where he will get up the plate and they'll throw whatever pitch. He'll swing and fall on the ground. And these guys are throwing 80, 90 miles per hour. And out of nowhere, he'll hit the other one like a rocket over the shortstop's head. And he'd get a runner, by the way. He would trot to first and say, runner.
Yeah, I'd get a pinch runner.
And then the runners would
Oh,
steal
and
his
they would
base.
run-
Remember that guy from the Mariners who could never get me out?
There was a lefty. He's a scientist.
And like a guy who could threw hard,
He did.
but he could never get me out. This guy from this team that we played
This is
against.
like poker
It was
playing
amazing.
skills,
I
or
was-
good,
it
like
was like-
pool, or pool shark skills. Like when you go in.
I was
when
like
I was in
eight.
college-
I was like 8 for 8 against that guy in one season. It was amazing.
But it was weird because the guy, I did not face well against him, but Mauro would come up. They had a meeting at the mound.
Yeah,
for
they have
Mauro.
the meeting.
About you?
The whole team would meet because they could not get this guy. For whatever reason, I just see the ball come off his hand. You know?
And you know how it's gonna go?
And I just knew. I just saw the ball, and I was just destroyed.
Because you throw the
this
junk.
guy.
Because you throw the junk curveballs.
Maybe that's
too.
why.
I just destroyed.
Mauro
this
has a weird pitching motion. Like he pitched, we were up 10 runs, and he almost surrendered all of the runs.
No, listen, Chris. This
This
is
is true.
We were
No.
up like 8 runs. Bob.
We were
put
up
me
more
in-
than 8.
Bob put me
But
into.
first of all, I can't even believe Mauro's an athlete.
Listen, Bob put me in.
Wait, look at his calves. If we'll go off camera, I want to show his calves would look like somebody put softballs in his fucking top of his calves.
Bob put me
I
into.
can't. I can't.
I was a first
It's crazy.
baseman. I played first base and left field, but Bob put me into pitch because I had a couple
He was
breaking
talking
balls.
shit. He was like, I could pitch.
So I
could
put
close
into
this.
pitch. So we're up like 8 runs,
More
and
than
then
8.
suddenly
Like 15.
our team completely, our entire defense just fell apart.
I mean, I did commit 2 errors because I was
Every
laughing
fucking
so hard.
ground ball, I could have got
this
out of
is
the
true.
inning. It's over. Every ground ball, Bob throws it into the fucking parking lot. Okay, so then another ball to the shortstop. Another thing, easy third out.
Y'all
The guy
drink
throws
before
it
games?
throws it into the fucking dugout.
Okay, so we
So,
did.
I mean, this guy's
Before
committed like 25 errors.
Now that I've retired from the league, I will tell you officially we did not drink during the games, but we did. And we
Yeah,
had
we
this.
did.
We had a couple Puerto Ricans on the team. What
Yeah.
was it? Aramis?
All makes sense now.
Aramis.
He would come in. We would drink. He would bring a bottle of whiskey and chew.
We had several guys on our team who didn't speak one word of English. I can tell you that. Not one word.
We had an interpreter. We had a mild meeting. We'd have an interpreter. When I was.
We had some Puerto Ricans
So
on
how,
our team.
how did all these lawyers get involved in this league?
Okay,
It
so
was Bob's team.
So it was my team, and eventually we were like, so when we started, we were the LA Squires, and we were all these lawyers, because we came from the Knights, we whatever. So it was all these lawyers, and then we were like, you know what, they're making fun of us all the time because this is mostly a Spanish-speaking league. So we changed our name to
Los
Guapos de los Estados Unidos.
We were Los Guapos de los Estados Unidos.
And now
And we had a mustache on our helmet. That was our
Oh my
logo.
God.
we did. It was a wood bat league, and we have most of our when we left the league, most of the team did not speak English anymore. It was
Yeah.
awesome. We had so much fun.
Yeah, we had Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. I don't know. We had that one actor
Cubanos.
kid.
We had a few actors.
Yeah, Bob had some friends that were
Who's
actors.
the Sandlot guy that comes to all of our
Oh,
California?
God, I just
That's
saw-
my friend.
I just saw him in Miami.
Oh my God, I love that guy. It was so
That's
funny.
Patrick.
Listen, you know,
Yeah,
it's so
he-
funny.
he shows up to a California.
Yeah, well, the guy's my friend. So I go like, it's the weirdest thing. Because
So
the guy
cool.
was like, he's
The catcher from the Sandlot.
He's
my
a
kid's
director
favorite movie
now.
ever.
No, he's a director now. He's not an actor anymore. He
He
directs.
was like a little kid in that movie.
But unfortunately for him, he's like 47 years old and looks exactly the same he
he
did
looks like a
does.
child.
when he was 12. He looks exactly the same.
So Mauro, he was at a board meeting when, like, right after COVID, when we were doing the
Yeah.
board meetings in the hotel rooms, or the hotel, conference rooms.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting up because this is my first year as secretary, so I'm up at this podium at the stage. And I'm looking across the room, like, and I text my husband. I'm like, I think the guy from the Sandlot's here. Look behind you. And he's like, oh my God. My husband's like geeking out.
He runs.
We need to get a selfie with him.
He runs an SEO company for lawyers. So you'll see him at every convention.
And I do.
His real name is Patrick Renna.
I do,
He's the
and I took a
nicest
selfie with
guy.
him.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
Great guy.
But like I play golf with him. I hang out with
you?
him. Like we'll go play golf and we'll be at some random golf course, and it's like people will be like, "Dude, it's the
Sandlot guy.
it's the
Sandlot
it's the
guy.
great Hambino," and he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" And he
Stop
he
it.
takes pictures with everyone. He's really
nice
nice
guy.
about it.
Nice.
So whenever we were in Miami for like a conference, and like I was at the back, I was at the bar actually because I don't like to
you were.
sit down. I like to see the
You
crowd.
know how to talk to people.
Exactly. And I was like, it's the Great Hambino, and I was like, this is Mauro's friend. So I text Mauro. I was like, Mauro, your buddy's here. He's like, watch this. He puts us on a group chat, and he's like, Patrick, look behind you at the bar. And he looks back. It was like out of a movie. I was like, hi.
I was like, Patrick,
He knows
are you in
everybody.
Are you
Remember
in
the
Miami?
Dos Equis like ads the most interesting man in the
Yeah,
world?
yeah.
Is that quite possibly Mauro?
No, actually, it's Jason Sanchez, which will be an interview very quickly.
Actually,
Okay,
the
okay,
guy
I'm
who was
making
the most
mistakes.
interesting man in the world is a guy named Jonathan Goldstein.
It is. That's the guy's
And
name.
he's the coolest guy in the world. He used to hang out at Dantana.
Is it the actual?
Yeah, the real guy is named
Of course
Jonathan
you know
Goldstein.
him, which actually may
And I
make
used
you
to
the
hang.
most interesting.
I
guy
used to
in the
hang
world.
out with him at Dantana's in Hollywood, and we'd get drunk, and maybe once in a while there'd be drugs. But I mean, I can't really tell.
What?
All those stories. I can't tell all those stories.
Okay,
Oh
we're
my
gonna
God.
do facts out of the most interesting man in the world as we interview the most interesting woman in the world who's helped and mentor a lot of.
Do you know the Georgia thing never had anything to do with me at all?
I know. I wanted to get into the
Why
story.
are you
but
a
it's the-
Bulldogs fan? Because if you're
That
from
was the question.
If
We
you're
never
from
got to it.
Dallas,
I know, I got to take it over.
if you're from
No,
Dallas,
but this year, the year of 2024, it was played where in the Final Four, Georgia did not make it, but Texas did. And Georgia was the better team. How do you feel about that and why?
Well, I actually have a lot of feelings. So I was initially upset about Florida State, who, by the way, were our friend Brett Schreiber, who we were just talking about, went to Florida State.
and so did Connell Doyle.
But my nephew was the quarterback for Florida State, Drew Weatherford. But I might be the most interesting man in the world. You don't know. But I was like, this is not. They did everything you were supposed to do. Florida State did everything you're supposed
Except
to do.
for one thing.
No,
Somebody got hurt.
But
was
this is
dumb.
but this is why they did everything, because he got hurt and they still won. So they said we're going to take injuries into account, and after he got injured, they continued to win. And that is why Florida State should have been in the top four. I would have not been pissed about Georgia not making it if Florida State made it. But when you want to talk about who was the best football team, Georgia could have beat any one of them. And my dad, who's a Michigan guy, I'm sorry, Georgia would have killed Michigan. I'm very glad that Michigan won. If my dad ever sees this, I'm sorry, Dad, I love you. And Michigan should win, go blue. But
Georgia would have kicked.
Georgia would have won. And so I'm excited about next year when we're moving to the 12-team playoff and like actual real, like who is good. and who is the best and who should be there.
College football's just corrupt.
No, it is not.
No, the NILs make it better because players can actually make money. I actually am a big fan of it. Okay.
I know, I am too. I
Okay,
like that.
so we're gonna end this episode. So,
Sorry.
Christa, end of every episode, we do one. So we chose very distinct flavors. These are all very, very different. And I would thank Nico for sourcing this bottle, which I could not find. There are 3 distinct tastes, and I got to ask you, Christa Ramey, don't figure about. I mean, the story could be part of it. What's your bourbon proof?
So it's not, and it doesn't have anything to do with the story, but maybe it does, but it doesn't. But it's this one.
Yeah.
And this one is too peaty. It's more like Scotch, which
Yeah.
I like, but I'm not a big fan of Scotch. This one it's burning the roof of my mouth.
It is.
Boy, this is
This was
hot.
so enjoyable.
I love.
120 proof is hot.
I
But
love this
I
one.
loved the story.
I love this one. Okay.
I love the story behind all of them, though. I mean, I love the story. I love that you picked out something that meant something about me for all that. So it's very sensitive.
Yeah, we started the
Okay.
show with that one, but I want
But
to
this
thank
is good. That was
Christa.
my
Thank you
favorite.
for coming on, being a champion for those that have entered Heaven's Door, that are orphans, or those that have been forgotten, or those that are still a Georgia Bulldog fan.
Go Dogs. Oh, that was my husband, by the way. He's a
I
bulldog.
know.
Yeah.
But you've been an amazing guest, and if anyone wants to reach Christa Ramey, just literally type in her name into Google. She's an advocate for all of us. So, Christa, thank you for coming. Last
Thanks,
cheers.
guys. Cheers.
This is
Alright.
tomorrow, not falling asleep.
Oh, which I see a lot of pictures of that video
never.
everywhere on the internet. Google Morrow Theory.